So as costs increase because of extreme weather, we have to either adapt or mitigate. Now, adapt is when you change the way you live to make the impacts less severe. So things like improve your building codes. You know, there are building codes that are enforced in hurricane-rich areas. Now, doing stuff like that, or you probably remember Superstorm Sandy that hit New York. And after that, New York spent a lot of money to make their infrastructure more robust that could withstand future storms. That costs money. That costs a lot of money. And in fact, it is always more expensive to try to adapt after the fact than to try to slow down climate change. So it is true, climate change is already costing us a lot of money throughout our entire country. And the longer we delay taking action, the worse it's going to be, the harder it is, and the more expensive it is to take action. I mean, think about Miami. Parts of Miami are flooding on high tides now. And Miami has a porous substrate. So you can't build a seawall around Miami because the water comes up from the ground. So what is the economic cost of that? If you have to relocate a significant part of Miami, how much does that cost? And, you know, it's great for people up in Minnesota or Michigan to think, well, that's the folks down in Florida. That's what they have to worry about. But we're all connected. When insurance companies get hit in Florida, it can affect us in the Midwest. When there's a drought in California that cost a few years ago, there was a $4 billion drought, a drought that cost $4 billion in lost agricultural productivity. That cost gets passed along to us. In about 10 years ago, there was a drought of the century in the Midwest that cost $35 billion in lost agricultural productivity, mainly in states like Kansas and Iowa and Missouri, et cetera. Well, I'm in Minnesota. I paid for that too. So you can't isolate the costs of climate change. The costs hit one part of the country, one part of the world, but because our economy is all connected, it's going to affect us all. So it's really a situation where we all want to be pulling in the same direction. We all want to be working forward and toward a solution that can reduce the future impacts of climate change. Look, we can't unring the bell. The climate change that we see right now is already here, but it's a forebearer of what's going to happen in the future. If you think it's bad now, boy, you just wait 10 years and then wait another 10 years. It's going to be really bad. So what we need to do is we need to take that arc of climate change and lower it. We just need to bend that curve down a little bit. And every dollar that we spend now to reduce future climate change will pay off more than $1 in benefits in the future. But what we've done so far is not do much on reducing climate change. We just adapt after the fact. And that's the most expensive way to handle this problem.